So all the hard work is done. You sprayed, fertilized, worked up the ground, and planted your food plot. So now the only thing left to do is pray for rain and hope to heck the deer don't eat everything down before it really gets going, right? Well, that's exactly what I used to do. Don't get me wrong, I still pray for rain, but I have a secret weapon to keep those deer out. A dual perimeter electric fence. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That's your secret weapon? Yep, it is, and this is why. It used to be a real pain in the butt because all these so-called deer fences were really just garden variety fences that really did very little to keep deer out. Your only other option was to spend the day in a farm and home store trying to build an erector set science project that would probably work once you had $749 into it in a couple days. So back to my secret weapon. It's a system called the Hot Zone, the only true dual perimeter system built specifically to keep wildlife out. The key is the dual perimeter fence. Look, just a single roll of electric wire or tape to a deer, they'll just jump right over it. The dual perimeter forces the deer to get really close to the outer tape, to think about maybe jumping over or ducking under the tape. At that point, he's gonna get shocked, and that's gonna be a deterrent that's gonna keep him out of your food plot for the rest of the season. Okay, so now that we understand the value of a dual perimeter, remember, the best time to put up a fence is right after the food plot is done being planted. This way your food plot is protected from germination all the way to full maturity when the food plot's ready to handle heavy browse from the deer and you're ready to hunt. Think about this, if a deer bites off the head of a 2-inch tall soybean plant, it could cause severe damage or even complete failure. Now compare that to a deer eating 2 inches off of a fully mature 36-inch soybean plant, it really doesn't make a difference. The cool thing is everything comes in one box with really good instructions, so you don't have to be an electrical engineer to put this thing together. So let's walk through a simple setup of a dual perimeter fence. So the Hot Zone system works for 3/4 of an acre. So once you've figured out where you want to put your fence and what the shape's going to be, the first thing you do is put in your 4 bigger corner posts. I suggest using a post driver. It goes very, very quick. You can use a hammer, but it's easier. Each one of the posts has a mark on it for the depth you're gonna drive it in. So boom, 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 drive it in. Do that for the 4 corners. Then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put the smaller outer perimeter stakes in. They should be 11 yards apart. We used a rangefinder and I had somebody helping me. So I would stay at the post we just put in, he'd walk, I'd range him. By the end we had it down pretty good. So then we put the next one out at 11 yards, 11 yards, 11 yards. So then once you have your whole outer perimeter done, then what we're gonna do is put the inside perimeter. And you're gonna follow those same steps, use the rangefinder, they're 11 yards apart. But the only difference is that you're gonna be 3 feet in from your outer fence, okay? And just keep right in line with them, range them. Once you got that all done, then what we're gonna do is start pulling the tape and the wire. So once you've pulled all the wire, here's how it should look. You have one wire on the inside at 8 inches. You have another wire on the inside at 24 inches, and then you have the tape around the outside perimeter at 18 inches. So we left 6 feet of extra wire really to give you flexibility when you're mounting the Energizer. Once you get it mounted up on the pole, follow the instructions, it's very intuitive. Put the wires in the right spot, you clamp them down, and then you connect the clamps to the battery. Now I suggest using a deep cycle battery in conjunction with a solar panel, and this is why. Once that food plot starts to grow up, it's gonna hit that 8-inch wire and it's gonna start to ground it out a bit. And it's one of the things that'll drain a battery faster than anything else. So the bigger deep cycle battery you can have, the better. And remember, when you're positioning your solar panel, point it in the direction that's gonna get the most sun for the longest amount of time. And then last, and a very important piece, is driving the ground stake. Get that thing so it's only sticking up maybe, I don't know, 6-8 inches. Really get that thing into the ground. And what I did is I wrapped the ground wire around it and then I ran some electrical tape and really made sure, because if that ground wire comes undone, then no matter how big a battery you have or how well your solar panel's pointed, you're not gonna have power to the fence. So once everything's properly hooked up, the last step is to turn on the fence and test to make sure that it's working. They supply a nice little tester, it just hooks onto the fence, you make sure the lights are lighting up, and there you have it. The fence is live and ready to protect your food plot. So the only thing left to do is make sure the fence is on when you walk away and let it grow.